I mean, when you try to picture the actual scale of the internet, the numbers usually just like blur into this abstract static.
Oh, totally.
You know?
Millions of this,
Yeah.
billions of that. It loses all meaning.
Exactly. But consider this one statistic. Over 3 billion fake emails are sent out every single day.
Wow. Yeah, 3 billion.
Right. And they aren't just floating into the void. They are actively targeting people exactly like you right now while you're sitting at your desk or, scrolling on your phone in line for coffee.
It really is a staggering volume. And when you internalize that 3 billion daily attempts are happening, it completely reframes how you look at your own inbox.
Yeah.
It transforms it from the simple communication tool into an active, highly populated battleground.
That's a great way to put it.
And I mean, the sheer statistical probability means that sooner or later, one of those meticulously crafted traps is going to land right in front of you.
Which is exactly the mission of today's deep dive. We're exploring a brilliantly concise cybersecurity explainer today titled Beyond the Hook. And look, we all know the word phishing spelled with a PH.
Right, right.
We probably all think we're like far too smart or too tech savvy to ever fall for one of those scams. But this source material completely reframes the whole concept.
It really does.
It moves us past the technical jargon
Yeah.
and reveals that these attacks aren't really about exploiting computer code at all. They're about exploiting human biology.
And that distinction is where the true power of this explainer lies, because we often operate under this incredibly persistent Hollywood misconception of what a cybercriminal actually is.
Oh, yeah. Like the guy in the hoodie.
Exactly. You picture this shadowy figure in a dark room, wearing a hoodie, typing furiously on a keyboard filled with scrolling green code, desperately trying to smash through a firewall.
Right. Like in the Matrix or something.
Yeah, but the reality is far more devious and much more heavily reliant on psychology.
Because we spend so much time worrying about the strength of our passwords or the complexity of our firewalls. But why would a criminal spend weeks or months trying to brute force their way through a multi-million-dollar corporate security system?
When they can just politely ask you to open the door for them?
Exactly.
The return on investment for a technical hack is terrible.
Yeah.
The entire goal of a phishing attack is to just, bypass the machine entirely and target the human operating it.
Yeah.
They want you to willingly hand over a password or put in your credit card details or click a button that downloads malicious software. They aren't picking the lock. They are tricking you into handing them the keys.
And I think the best way to visualize this absurdity is to think about physical home security.
Okay, yeah.
It's like outfitting your house with a $1 million state-of-the-art alarm system. You've got reinforced steel doors, laser grids across the hallway, motion sensors in every single corner.
Right, a total fortress.
Exactly. And then you bypass all of it by handing a complete stranger your house keys simply because they walked up to your porch wearing a high-vis vest, carrying a clipboard,
Yeah.
and just, asked you nicely to let them in.
That clipboard analogy is perfect because it highlights the core vulnerability being exploited here, which is our inherent bias toward trusting authority.
Yes.
Phishing relies entirely on mimicking trusted entities. So the emails are meticulously designed to look like they came from your bank or your boss or the IRS. When you strip away the digital delivery part, phishing is not a hack of technology. It is a hack of human emotion.
A hack of human emotion. I love that phrasing. And, it takes the shame out of it, too.
Oh, absolutely.
Because falling for a scam doesn't mean you were bad at using computers. It means you were experiencing a biologically hardwired human reaction.
Exactly.
So how do they actually hijack our emotions so effectively? Let's walk through a real-world scenario from the text to sort of dissect the mechanics of this trap.
Let's do it.
Okay, picture this. It's a Tuesday morning. You're drinking your coffee, trying to clear out your inbox before a meeting. An email arrives. You open it, and visually, it is a flawless replica of a message from your bank.
Flawless.
Right. The corporate logo is crisp, the brand colors are exact, the formatting is perfect, and the text reads, "Urgent. Suspicious activity detected on your account. Click here immediately to verify your identity."
Okay, let's pause right there and look at the underlying psychology of that specific phrasing.
Yeah, because it's intense.
It is. The criminal is relying entirely on triggering your amygdala. When you read the words urgent or act immediately or final warning, your prefrontal cortex, which is the part of your brain that handles logical, analytical thinking, It essentially just gets bypassed.
It just shuts down.
Right, your fight or flight response activates. The email is specifically engineered to manufacture a crisis, flooding your brain with cortisol so that you abandon critical thinking and just rush to resolve this perceived threat.
And the fallout of that manufactured crisis is devastatingly fast. So, to finish the narrative from the text, you panic. Your heart rate spikes. You aren't looking closely at the details anymore. You just want to make sure your life savings haven't been drained.
Yep.
So you click the link. Instantly, you land on a website that is a perfect, identical visual replica of your real bank's login page.
Identical.
Right? You type in your username, you type in your password, you hit enter,
Mm-hmm.
and the screen flashes red, and maybe you get a generic error message,
Mm-hmm.
but it's too late. In less than 60 seconds, a criminal on the other side of the world has captured your credentials and now has unrestricted access to your actual bank account.
60 seconds.
It's wild.
From taking a sip of coffee to completely compromising your financial life, and all because the artificial urgency overrode your logic.
Now, I have to step in and play devil's advocate here on behalf of anyone listening, because reading that scenario, my immediate thought is about the visual identicality of the fake website.
No.
If the criminal has a perfect visual replica of my bank's login page, how is a regular person without a background in IT supposed to defend themselves? I mean, if the fake is a flawless copy of the real thing, it just feels like an unwinnable game.
It's a very valid frustration, but understanding how easy it is to clone a website completely changes your defensive strategy.
Okay, how so?
Well, visually duplicating a website requires almost zero technical skill. A scammer can literally just right-click a web page, hit Save As, and copy the underlying code to make their fake site look completely identical to the real bank.
Oh, wow. Just right-click.
Yeah. Because the visual facade is so convincing, your defense mechanism cannot rely on how a website looks once you're actually there. The defense has to happen earlier in the chain. You have to spot the disguise before you ever click the link.
Okay, which brings us to the actual mechanics of spotting that disguise.
Hmm.
If we can't trust our eyes when it comes to logos and branding, what structural clues are we looking for in the email itself?
So the source material lays out 4 distinct structural warning signs. And the first 2 are your immediate glaring red flags. We've actually already touched on the most prominent one, which is urgency.
Right, the manufactured panic.
Exactly. If an email is actively trying to make you panic, that is your very first sign that something is fundamentally wrong. Legitimate financial institutions or government agencies, they rarely demand immediate panicked action via a cold email.
Right, like your bank is not going to threaten to have you arrested via an automated message.
Definitely not. So the second warning sign is a mismatch in the sender address. And this is where people consistently get tripped up.
Oh, because this display name lies.
Yeah.
Like, I see Amazon support in bold letters in my inbox, and my brain just accepts it.
Precisely. In almost every single email app, the display name can be changed to say absolutely anything the sender wants.
Wow.
Yeah, you have to look past the display name and examine the actual routing envelope in the real email address it was sent from. If it's a phishing attempt, the underlying address will usually be a massive giveaway.
Like it won't say Amazon.com.
Exactly. Instead of something clean like support@amazon.com, it'll be this chaotic string of characters like Amazon support at random-server-hosting.net.
Going back to the clipboard analogy from earlier, it's exactly like someone walking up to you and flashing an official-looking ID badge.
Oh, that's a good way to look at it.
Yeah, like in massive, bold letters at the top. The badge says, police. But if you actually stop, lean in, and squint at the fine print at the bottom of the laminated card, it clearly says, Bob's Discount Internet Scam.
Yes. And the criminal's entire business model relies on the assumption that you will only look at the big, bold letters and never bother to read the fine print.
Because they're banking on your rush to resolve that fake urgency we talked about.
Exactly. Now, let's say the sender address looks somewhat plausible, or the attacker has managed to spoof it a little more convincingly. This brings us to the third warning sign, which is arguably your most powerful technical defense.
Which is?
Hover before you click.
Okay, this is a widely known trick, but I think people often misunderstand what they're actually looking for when they hover.
That's a crucial point, because simply resting your mouse cursor over a link or a button without clicking it, your browser will display the true destination URL, usually down in the bottom corner of your screen.
Right.
The text in the email might say, click here to securely route to Bank of America, but hovering lifts the veil. Now, when you look at that destination URL, you need to understand how web addresses actually work.
Right, because scammers have gotten very clever with subdomains to trick our pattern recognition, haven't they?
Oh, they really have. As English speakers, we read from left to right. Scammers know this. So they will create a destination link that looks like www.chase.com.security-update.info.
I can.
Yeah, your brain reads chase.com at the very beginning and assumes it's safe. But domains actually resolve from right to left.
Wait, really? Right to left?
Yes. The true owner of that website is security-update.info. The chase.com part is just a fake subdomain they attach to the front to trick your eyes. If the core domain at the very end of the address doesn't perfectly match the institution, you need to bail out immediately.
Okay, but hovering makes perfect sense on a desktop. But honestly, who is checking their personal bank emails on a desktop anymore?
That's a fair point.
If I'm scrolling through my inbox on my phone while waiting for the train, I don't have a mouse cursor. I can't hover.
And the mobile environment is absolutely where scammers have their highest success rate, largely for that exact reason. But you can actually achieve the exact same structural check on a smartphone.
How so?
Instead of tapping the link, you just lightly press and hold your finger down on it. Do not tap and release, just press and hold.
Oh, okay.
Your mobile operating system will pop up a preview window showing you the full actual web address. You can read the domain structure right there, and if it looks chaotic or mismatched, you just swipe the preview away.
So we have manufactured urgency, mismatched sender addresses, and deceptive URL structures.
Yeah.
But there is a fourth warning sign in the text, and it's the one that has always felt like a logical inconsistency to me.
Okay, what's that?
Poor spelling and grammar. Like, if a criminal group is sophisticated enough to perfectly clone a bank's layout and bypass spam filters, why on earth can't they run a basic spell check on their emails?
It seems totally counterintuitive, doesn't it?
Yeah, it really does.
While some of it is simply due to attackers operating in regions where English is a secondary language and maybe using flawed translation software, cybersecurity researchers have identified a much more deliberate psychological mechanism at play.
Which is,
It functions as an intentional filtering mechanism.
wait, a filtering mechanism. So you're saying they are making mistakes on purpose?
In many large-scale campaigns, yes. I mean, think about the scammers' operational costs. They don't want to waste their time interacting with observant, skeptical people who are just going to realize it's a scam halfway through the process anyway.
Oh, wow.
Professional, legitimate institutions have entire compliance departments dedicated to proofreading. A real alert from a major bank will not have bizarre syntax, jarring typos, or use the word kindly 3 times in one paragraph.
So by making the email slightly sloppy, they intentionally weed out the people who are actually paying close attention.
Exactly. If you notice the bad grammar and delete the email, the scammer hasn't lost anything. But if someone reads an email full of typos and still clicks the link anyway...
Then they know they have an easy target.
Right. The scammer now knows they have an incredibly compliant victim who is either deeply panicked or just not detail-oriented. It drastically increases the scammer's conversion rate once they move to the next phase of the attack.
That is so wild.
So strange phrasing or obvious grammatical errors aren't just lazy mistakes, they are a major structural red flag.
All right, so we've mapped out the anatomy of the threat. We understand they are hacking our amygdala to bypass our logic. We know how to structurally verify the sender, dissect the URL by hovering or pressing and holding, and we know to look out for intentional grammatical filters.
Right.
But knowing the theory is only half the battle.
Yeah.
Because when the reality hits, when you are exhausted, distracted, and that terrifying account suspended alert buzzes in your hand, what is the actual protocol?
The explainer distills all of this into a surprisingly elegant 3-step daily defense playbook.
Yeah.
And the genius of this playbook is that it requires absolutely zero technical skill. It is simply a behavioral shift.
Okay, lay it on us.
Step 1, stop.
Just literally stop what you are doing.
Do absolutely nothing. When that urgent email hits your inbox and you feel your heart rate spike, your very first deliberate action must be inaction.
Wow.
Do not click a link. Do not download the attached PDF. Do not even hit reply to tell them to leave you alone. Just freeze. You have to consciously break the circuit of panic.
Breaking the circuit of panic. That is the critical moment, isn't it? Because the second you freeze, you instantly neutralize the only real advantage the attacker has.
Exactly.
You are giving your prefrontal cortex those necessary seconds to come back online and say, wait a minute, why is the IRS emailing me a final notice on a Sunday morning?
Precisely. You are reclaiming your cognitive baseline. And once you have stopped the momentum of the attack, you move directly to step 2, verify.
Verify.
This is where you transition from defense to taking total control of the situation. But the key here is independent verification. You never use the tools provided by the potential attacker.
Meaning you don't call the phone number listed at the bottom of the suspicious email because the scammer controls that phone number too.
Exactly. If the email claims there's a fraudulent charge on your credit card, you close the email app entirely. You open a brand new web browser window and you type your bank's URL into the address bar yourself.
Right.
Or you open the official verified mobile app that you already downloaded weeks ago. Better yet, you take your physical credit card out of your wallet, flip it over, and call the official customer service number printed directly on the plastic.
I really love the concept of going through the front door like that. Because if there really is a crisis, like if your account actually is suspended, your bank will prominently display that alert the second you log in through the official homepage.
Right, they want you to know.
You do not need their special encrypted email link to find out. If you go through the front door and your account dashboard looks totally normal, you instantly know the email was a fabrication.
You've verified the truth without ever stepping onto the battlefield they designed.
So smart.
Which brings us to the final phase. Step 1 is stop, step 2 is verify, step 3 is report. And this step completely changes how we should be thinking about our individual role in cybersecurity.
Right, because the instinct is just to hit delete and move on with your day. The threat is gone, your money is safe. Why bother doing paperwork?
Because cybersecurity is not a solitary activity. When you simply delete a phishing email, you only protect yourself. But if you take 5 seconds to forward that email to your organization's IT department, or just tap the report phishing button built into your email provider, you activate a community defense mechanism.
It essentially functions like a digital neighborhood watch.
That's exactly what it is. Modern email filters rely heavily on crowdsourced data. When you report a sophisticated phishing attempt to your IT team, their automated systems can instantly analyze that sender's IP address and the malicious domains embedded in the links.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, they can then update the firewall to silently block that entire campaign from reaching anyone else in the company.
So by taking those few extra seconds, you might literally be neutralizing a threat that was about to land in the inbox of a colleague down the hall who is, having a terrible, exhausted day and who might not have had the capacity to pause and verify.
Exactly. You're shielding the most vulnerable people in your network.
That's amazing. Your single act of reporting updates the global defense perimeter.
You really are.
Well, when we pull all of this together, when we look at the mechanics of the attack and the elegance of the defense, the ultimate takeaway from Beyond the Hook is remarkably empowering.
It is.
Defending yourself against an ecosystem that launches 3 billion attacks every single day does not require you to learn how to read code. It doesn't require you to purchase expensive, complex security software.
Not at all.
It just requires one intentional, deeply human action: the power to pause. The power to take a breath, check the routing envelope, press and hold the link, and independently verify the claim through the front door.
The pause is the ultimate firewall. But I think examining this dynamic leaves us with a much more profound question, one that extends far beyond just securing our bank accounts.
Oh, what's that?
Well, if 3 billion of these traps are set every day, and the astronomical success of this illicit industry relies entirely on human panic and our conditioned tendency to act without thinking, how much of our broader daily technology use is driven by blind reflex rather than intention?
Wow. Yeah, we are so incredibly conditioned to immediately tap, swipe, and respond. The literal millisecond our screens light up.
We really are. And malicious actors are simply monetizing those reflexes. So if we begin to take back our autonomy by consciously pausing before we click on an urgent email, what other automated reflexive habits in our digital lives might we start to question?
That's a great point.
Where else could a simple intentional pause completely transform how we let the digital world influence our behavior?
That is a brilliant question to keep front and center the next time your phone demands your immediate attention. And a perfect place to wrap up our analysis for today. Stay curious, stay intentional, and remember, never hand over your house keys just because someone is wearing a high-vis vest and a clipboard. We will see you on the next Deep Dive.